As you guys just saw, I had Santa Claus come by, and you saw him. It's like Santa Claus. They wanted my Murray hard bins for the bagger system. I got them from Nick from Medford. I was going to use them as backups to mine, but there was really nothing wrong with mine, so I don't want to just keep it around all day, you know. I listed it for $50, and I told them to put it under my wife's car's windshield wiper. Let's see if they stiffed me. It's wet. Let's go into the garage. I think they stiffed me. I only see 30 here. It's supposed to be 50. Ah, 50. They wouldn't stiff me. What are they going to do? Just stiff me and get in trouble for just not putting 20? If you're going to stiff me, you might as well just take the whole thing, right? Cool. See that? The age of coronavirus, man. Just selling things without doing anything. Awesome.
Hey everybody, good morning. It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. What did I say yesterday? I said that if today was a beautiful day, we were going to unbox and put together and dethatch my backyard with my new Greenworks 14-inch electric dethatcher that I bought from Amazon for $128 with free shipping. With taxes, it came out to about $140, and it was just delivered yesterday when I was working on this John Deere L100 lawn tractor that I got for free from Dick's Hills from a tip from a prior customer who bought one of my tractors. So thank you to Nick, the contractor, who was working on somebody else's house, another house, and the owner wanted it gone, and he thought of Henry at Mowers and Blowers. And I says, absolutely, I want it. I thought he was going to complain about the tractor I sold him, but he was just helping me out. Appreciate that. Really appreciate a lot of the people that are supporting the channel in ways of contributions. So shout out to Stephen Becker, who hasn't commented very much at all. I think I might recall one question he might have asked, and he was impressed that I had answered it so quickly. As you all know, a lot of my regulars would know this. I have about 2 or 3 dozen regulars who normally comment on my videos, my daily videos, by the way. And you all know that I respond to every question, every comment, whether it be a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Very rarely it's thumbs down. And he donated $25 to supporting the channel. Now, that's special. You know why? Because he hardly ever comments. He's one of those silent watchers, He's probably been a subscriber for quite some time, but it wasn't until he said, you know what, I really like Henry's videos. I'm going to donate some money to help him keep it going, because I'm entertaining America, Canada, Great Britain, and Australia. Those are the analytics that I see on my YouTube about the majority of the people who watch the channel. The 2 main ones, United States and Canada. Britain's not far behind, and Australia. So as you guys know, yesterday I started to dig into why this engine was seized. I unseized it, loosened the belts off the double stack pulley as they were kind of stuck onto the pulley, which restricted the turning of the flywheel. In addition, the flywheel was rusted solid to the crankshaft because the magneto was so rusted on there that it fused onto the flywheel. I managed to break the flywheel loose, took it off. I think the stator is Dunsky. So because the stator's Dunsky, I'm going to have to replace it. This stator is a 10/16 amp stator. It usually goes with engines that have a voltage regulator. Since I don't have one of those, I'm going to replace this stator with a dual circuit one. which in turn has a diode on it, which converts the AC to DC. So I'm not going to need this voltage regulator, or we'll see what happens. If you guys will also remember the big pickle that I have with this right now, right, is I had to, because the two bolts onto the magneto were so rusted, right, you took some kind of socket or wrench to loosen it, and it just crumbled like powder, you know, the top part of it, you know. So I knew that that was going to be a big problem, you know. So I used penetrating oil from my friends over at Lucas Oil Products. I use this stuff religiously, and I just kept going and going and going and just spraying it every 5 or 10 minutes, whatever, right? And letting it soak overnight. And by the way, these tires that I pumped up with my foot pump in the field, at the barn, at the shed, while picking this up just to get it out of the ground, right? Some of them's keeping its air, and the rear tire looks like it's down flat again. So I think that some of these tires may need some ATF to get it pumped up again. So I had a lot of great comments from some subscribers who told me a lot of great ideas. You could just cut the stems, right? And drill out the holes and then put another bolt in there and then weld the nut on top after you do the air gap of the magneto. As you can see, I grinded the nuts off and then pried it off to at least be able to maintain the studs on here so I have something to grip. As you can see here, this has been soaking all night with the studs, and I had put a vice grip on here, and instead of violently trying to turn it, right, I just basically tapped it like this, you know, just back and forth like that, right? I've been doing this for a while. I know I'm going to get to the Dethatcher for you new subscribers who came to watch the Dethatcher video, okay? If you'll know my channel, which you probably don't, right? I get into a long monologue of my entire situation going on, and then I'll get to the main point, okay? So if you guys want to skip forward to the Dethatcher thing, go ahead. But anyway, this is important to my regular subscribers, which I have devotion to. Anyway, so I'm going to get you closer to see. I've got you as close as I can get you without, I mean, it's on the tripod, which is, all right, so here we go. It is moving. See that? Okay, I'm going to take the vice grip off. Uh-oh. So that doesn't work. It is moving. I think I might have been able to save this one. It's moving and it's turning pretty easily. I just don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched. Oh, listen, so shout out to one of my subscribers, Rick Browerman, who has contributed to the channel greatly. Not so much financially, right? But with definitely great observations and advice. He's the one who first told me about the ATF fluid in tires. Okay, so that's a big shout out, right? And then he also has eagle eyes. I think he's one of the only subscribers I know that watches every second of all my videos, because he actually saw a live mouse run out of the right wheel well of this thing while I was blowing the crap out of here. And then I made it into an intro. So thanks again to Rick Browerman for being so observative, yeah, that's right, of my videos. Success! Success! I tell you, success! That's one down. Rock on! My new neighbor the father came to oversee some landscaping, some people that are here for landscaping for the very first time, and he's overseeing them. He's just sitting in his truck in the driveway listening, and he's probably listening to me screaming success in my garage, thinking their new neighbor is some kind of a nut. Boy, wait till they see what happens over here on a daily basis, huh? You shouldn't have bought that house. There's a guy who works on engines all day. Smoke, gas, oil. Didn't you guys do a demographic check before you came here? Look at this, guys. This is spinning too. I don't want to overdo it. You have to work it back and forth. You know what I mean? Just so all the threads are being lubricated by that penetrating oil. I'm already ecstatic about the fact that this might work, you know? Another thing is finding 2 screws that'll fit the posts. Look at this, fellas. Now all I have to do is have some fun. I've got a feeling you are the only one. Name that group. Anyway, so I have to find some screws that fit the magnetos. I'm always searching for those things. Yeah! Success 2! Success, success! Everybody say it! I tell you, success! Yeah. Okay, so I know you guys are going to be anxious about me completing this job here, this project, right? But I have to get to the Dethatcher thing because it's a nice day. And I said yesterday, if it's a nice day, I'm going to do my Dethatcher video. So, after that video, maybe tomorrow or the next day, right? I'm going to replace this stator with a dual circuit stator because it's the only one I have, see? This one goes into a square voltage regulator. Not really sure why this engine has a voltage regulator. It's because of the stator. But usually you don't put 10/16 amp stators on a regular single cylinder engine with manual PTO. Usually these stators go on electric PTOs, and usually they're V-twins or opposed twin engines, so it's unusual for this to be on here, at least in my experience, okay? I understand about the fuel pump because the gas tank is in the back, not in the front behind the engine where it's gravity fed. I still don't know whether or not this solenoid works, the ignition switch. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to tell you guys, the owner took off the top cover, not so much to try to get the engine running again. Maybe he did, but I think most likely it's because there's no starter. He removed the starter for future use, I'm sure. So like I said, maximum stokage on the successful removal of the 2 magneto studs in the posts. Now I'm going to be able to install a magneto, change the stator, remove the voltage regulator, because with a dual circuit stator you're not going to need the voltage regulator. It regulates itself. I'm going to attach that red wire directly to the battery, and then the other wire is for lights. I'll leave it loose for now because we don't know if the lights work on this. I haven't addressed the carburetor. There might be a mouse in there. You never know. I think eventually I will have to adjust the valves. I did oil up all the areas that need oiling up, you know, so things should move around a little bit better. The battery that's been in here, it looks like it might be the original battery, so it could be 16 years old. I put a trickle charge on it overnight. Let's see how much voltage is, if it kept its voltage. So I've got my multimeter here that I got for free over at Harbor Freight Tools. If you have the coupon, you get it for free when you buy something. I mean, they say you don't have to buy anything. You can just go in there with the coupon and get one, but I've never tried that. Like, oh, what are you talking about? No, this does not hold a charge because it's at 11 volts. So you would gather that this, you know, had charged up to over 12 or 13 volts overnight. And then in just a matter of 5-10 minutes that I disconnected the charger, it dropped the 2 volts, you know. So that, this is no good. No good. See, now it's down to 10.8, so it's just drastically losing its charge as we just stand here, you know. So that battery is Dunsky! It's okay. For a change, I have a lot of batteries. Anyway, so we'll finish up this John Deere L100 at a later date. But today, let's get to the unboxing of my Greenworks 14-inch electric corded dethatcher. I know. You would never think this, that I would actually pay money for an electric piece of equipment that's corded, no less. That's almost pathetic when you think about it. But I watched that guy, Ryan Knorr, Knorr, on YouTube. Ryan Knorr, landscaping, I think. Anyway, that kid really knows his... and he had one of these things. His yard looks great. Now remember, there are other dethatchers out there, like a Martha Stewart thing and a Homelight, and there's a bunch of others, right? But the Greenworks one has a lot of good reviews on it and a lot of videos on the Greenworks. The Greenworks doesn't even have a bagger. Some of those other cheaper ones, they've got baggers, but they're so small. You do one pass, you're going to have to stop and unload, you know? That's a pain in the butt. So I've got a garden tractor, a lawn tractor out there with a bagger system, you know, which I have to actually put a battery in there and start up and tune it up and all that stuff. But once I get all the thatch up, I'm going to have to suck it up with that tractor, you know? So we'll see how this goes. I did buy another 60 yards of, yards or feet? 60 yards 60 feet of garden extension cable along with my 100. So 160 feet, that should be long enough for me to do the backyard, you know? Anyway, enough talking. I know. I'll get to it. Just chill, money. Anyway, I'll bring this to the backyard. It's nice out. Hey, looky here, what we got over there. It's Quinn the Mailman! So it's such a beautiful day today. I'm on my deck. Here's the box that I got yesterday. It's a Greenworks 14-inch Dethatcher, electric and corded. I knew I had about 100 feet of cord. I think it's 100 feet. It's pretty long. But I figured I needed some more, so I got myself some 40 feet extension cord. So like I said, it cost $128 plus tax on Amazon with free shipping. Came out to $140. Did take for a while for them to deliver it. This came yesterday, a day earlier than anticipated, but nevertheless, it still took 2 weeks. Or 10 days, something like that. So I hope I don't need any tools because, you know, it's just an electric dethatcher. How many tools do you think you need? You should just be able to put some wing nuts on and it'll be put together. You know what I mean? It's packed nicely in a decent gauged cardboard insulation. Okay, so here's I'm thinking the lower handle. Here's the upper handle. Okay, so it's attached to the machine. Some more insulation. The user manual and instructions. Don't need no stinking instructions. Get out of here. There it is. There it is. Oh. Come on, man. Oh, all right. Okay. So, with this flap here, right? Is the flap supposed to just open by itself and the stuff flies out? Or are you able to put some kind of a bagger on here? It looks like you could. See? It has these little, edges here where you can put a bagger on here. But I mean, look at the opening. How much do you think you're going to get out of there, First impression seems kind of cheap. Look at the bottom. So that's it. It's just a plastic shell, right? And you've got this spinning axle that's also plastic with these tines on here. There's 2 tines per, I guess there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cylinders, if you will, with 2 sets of tines, 2 sets of a pair of tines on each cylinder. So if there's 2 times 9, there's 18 tines. Well, I'm sorry, there's 2, so there's 4. So 4 times 9 is 36. 36 tines. But the gauge of this, each tine is thinner than a coat hanger. And there's a lot of room here of nothing else, So essentially you're thinking to yourself, the motor's got to be just a small little electric motor is all, It's got these 2 plastic hollow caster wheels on it. The rear wheels are also hollow and plastic. I don't know. I don't really think this is a quality piece of equipment, if you ask me. This is rubber. Ooh. So I'm not going to use the instructions because men don't use instructions. It's preposterous. Maybe I should, though, because I don't know what I'm doing. It looks pretty easy, though. Aha! There's a bag of extra tines. A bag of a lot of extra tines. Does the manufacturer anticipate symptomatic losses of tines during regular use? If so, that's a bad design. If you're giving me another set of tines, you're telling me that I might have to change them on a regular basis. Ah, see? Wing nuts and 2 wood screws are enclosed. So I think I might need these. Given this is the front and this is the back, you would think that this goes in like that. I say there, it doesn't really match very well. Oh, okay, there you go. All right. Okay. Don't know what that is yet. This is for to put on the top part. These are to hold the cables. There's 2 of these. It looks like this is here as a spacer. Watch me put this on and it's completely wrong. But it just, you use common sense, right? You know what I mean? I want to make sure you guys are seeing this. I mean, common sense, you would think that, there's a hole here. This goes through there. This is a spacer to take up the space there. Now, you see, they should have a washer or something. You know what I mean? But there isn't. That looks about right, right? I'll do the other side. Okay, so I looked at the instructions for a second because I wanted to know what these things were, and I knew that if I put this on and secured it already, I would have to take it off again to put this stuff on. So I just wanted to make sure. Didn't need them. But yes, good thing I didn't secure that down yet, because this thing is an extension cord holder. You just loop this through like that. And then these things here help hold the cable. Well, the cable's on the other side, so why do I need two of them? You know what I mean? I suppose I can put this on even if it wasn't looped over. Yeah, I can. So the big thing to get in first is this thing. So you need a screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver. So now I'm going to attach the big handle, the upper handle. They want you to have the wing nuts inboard. So this is going to try to, with gravity, it's going to try to move down. Wait, did I just say inboard? I did. Damn it. What do you want? It was $128 plus tax, free shipping. I thought that was a pretty good deal because I've seen it elsewhere for more. So that's why everybody buys at Amazon. It's because it's cheap. I think Amazon is actually making money now, because in the beginning they had this service where everybody loved it and everything, and they weren't actually making any money, But with quantity, I'm sure they're making money now. Remember, they don't pay any taxes either, because they're in cahoots with the government. Said, hey, you do this, we'll finance your political campaign, but you have to write a new tax law that gives us carte blanche. We don't have to pay taxes. Billions and trillions of dollars not being paid. Anyway, that's a political channel, not mine. Should be turning this so hard that it breaks. Okay, so look, that's on here. I just have to put the screws in for the spacer over here, but in a nutshell, you want to kind of hold these cables down, see? So you can just bend this a little bit. Oh, you put this over the cord, right, to a desired area, and just snap it on, see? So they're like, it's like cable keepers, if you will. Oh, there's 3 of them, see? So it makes sure that it's tucked in, like a hemorrhoid, tucked in. Pretty easy to install. You just need a screwdriver, and you don't need to read the instructions. I just looked at it to make sure, that's all. So your extension cord, right, goes onto here, and they say that you coil it, whatever. So look, let me find the end of this long cord here, just to show you. So to affix on this, you want to sort of tie it so that when you pull it, wrong side, Henry, wrong side. All right, here it is on this side, right here. See? So you kind of tie a knot, but you don't pull on it, There, that's that, right? And then you put a loop like this, put it through here, and so it hooks like so. You see that? That's how that works. So I'm going to get a Phillips screwdriver and affix those screws to button it up. And then I think basically, fellas, that's it. It was an easy install. Next thing I'll do is, the next thing I do is I'm not going to be able to use it yet. You know why? Because while my yard isn't really growing, and that's my entire problem, remember? That's the reason why I got it, is because my yard is not growing. Because I have too much thatch on my yard. I do have areas here alongside the fence that are growing, because that's due to my dog Boba peeing along the fence. Thus, pee is a form of fertilizer for the lawn, okay? And that's why it grows with fertilizer.
Henry, why don't you just put fertilizer down?
Because I have a dog.
Why don't you put that malorganite, which is organic, in the lawn?
Well, I tried that in the front, but it doesn't seem to work. I think the only thing that works is regular fertilizer. So I might just put fertilizer down at the end eventually, right? And not let Boba be back here for a couple of days, because it'll sink into the ground and then he'll be okay. So anyway, I got to weed whack the sides there. And you know what I have to do? Unfortunately, I have to move all my tractors. I know there's not many anymore, so it shouldn't be too tough. I'm going to need this later when I dethatch, because I'm going to have to suck up the thatch, you know what I mean, with the bagger. So I have to put a battery in here and get this running, okay? I got to move this damn thing, which is, I mean, look, you just look at it, you're like, well, how the hell are you going to move that? Just sheer force. Got to move this, got to move that, got to move this, got to move that, right? So I have an area here where I have artificial turf. Grass is not going to grow there no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just move my tractors to the right side now, and weed whack all this stuff here, okay? And then, you know, just to get it all level before I start dethatching. So let's understand that. People say thatcher. Thatch is the dead grass in your grass. Dethatching it is lifting the dead grass out of your lawn. That's dethatching. You can see near my pine trees over here, again, this is where my dog likes to pee, which is actually every dog likes to pee in corners like that. I have to weed whack. So I'm going to go whip out my Echo, because that thing always runs. And I'll do some weed whacking.
I gotta tell you, I've had a lot of weed whackers. You can imagine how many I've had. Probably 50, okay? And the story is, now that weed whacker I have at my mom's house, it's actually a Weed Eater 25cc. I bought that 30 somewhat years ago, and I've never cleaned the carburetor. And it always starts up, no problem. That's at my mom's house. That thing's amazing, okay? I had one of those too. I sold it after I got like a Troy build, whatever, from a trade. And then I went from that to probably 40 other weed whackers, right? And I always kept the best one for myself until I got this Echo GT200R. It's made by Greenworks Corporation, right? It's made in Japan. Let me tell you, yes, I know it is a curve shaft, but I like the curve shaft because you can just pivot it and you can edge very well. The straight shaft, you have to, you know, contort your elbow in a way. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why everybody likes the straight shaft. I hate it. The curve shafts are the ones that I love. And this one always starts up, as it did today, and it worked flawlessly. Started right up, sounds great, and it worked great. And I didn't even have to tap the thing because it still has the cord, you know? That's a string trimmer. So I just did that. Now I'm going to go and move all those tractors. As you can see, I haven't moved this in quite a long time. Grass is growing around it. My friend Nick from Lindenhurst, 5-Speed Ash, told me,
Hey, Henry, you need to weed whack around your tractors.
and I'm like, yes, I know that. But one thing at a time. There's going to be an opportunity where I have to move the tractor so I can do it. So look, it doesn't make any sense for me to have all the tractors on this side and grass is not growing there, right? So I might as well get that part kind of seeded later, and at least it'll grow some grass. Over here, it will never grow grass. You know what I mean? So I got to kind of blow that area out with my blower, either the Echo or the Red Max backpack blower. Let me tell you, that Red Max black backpack blower, that's so strong that it spins me right round, baby, right round. So I got to blow all the leaves in that corner over there. I whipped out the Echo. I'm staying along with Echo products because they're superior. So my battery's dying. What else is new? I'm going to put a battery in here and get this Mamma Jamma started. As you can see, I went over it with my last Toro push mower. You know, honestly, that Toro just started up no problem. You know what I mean? Went over here, mulched the leaves a little bit. Got my 3 tractors that's left sitting over here on the tarp now. Not the tarp, the turf. This one here, I guess I'll park near the shed. And God, that's rough, man. Anyway, so I'm going to go charge my battery and get this thing running. And when we come back after a full charge, we're going to get to work on that Dethatcher and see if it works. So I've been busy weed whacking, blowing, and putting the battery into my Craftsman with the bagger, and putting gas in. The fuel shut off leaks, so I had to fix it, you know. And then Frank, the UPS guy, just looked at my phone 40 minutes ago, said there was a push mower near here. I'm just going to go drive by. It's close by just to see if it's still there. 42 minutes? I don't know. I don't think so. We'll see. Looks like I'm a second too late. That's okay. It's an old one. So it's just to show you, you got to really move on a tip when you get a tip. Like if I didn't make that 10-second or 20-second video clip of me saying that Frank the UPS guy gave me a tip, I would have been there in front of that guy and I would have gotten the mower. But you know what? That mower was an old mower and it had the Pulsajet thing, carb on it, you know, pain in the butt. I probably would have gotten 80 bucks for it, 50 bucks for it if I got it working. But, you know, you can't get them all. Now, off to the Dethatcher review. So I got my Craftsman LT1000 fired up. Runs great. Aside from the fuel shutoff leaking, I replaced it with another one and now it doesn't leak. This one's good to go to suck up thatch. That is, if the Dethatcher works right. So I've weed whacked the edges all along the fence. Got my cord and there it is. Drove in the 2 screws over here. Got my cable plugged in. And here we go. Got it all plugged in. And I guess you press this button for safety. Cool. Check that out. That is cool. Very cool. Okay.
it spits it out, and you kind of feel like it's propelling itself. It's moving a little bit by itself. It's very easy. Boba, your wood chips are everywhere. I should go the other side, otherwise I'm going to hit the wire. So you have to go on the other side of where the wire is. All right. Can you guys tell? Can you see the difference? There is an area that it looks, different, I feel like when I push it, forward a little bit, when I push it forward a little bit, it dips down more into the ground. So there is a wheel adjustment, a height adjustment on the wheels. So I think I want to put it lower because it's probably at its highest setting. Uh-huh. So you pull it out, and you turn it this way. That's pretty low. That's high. That's low. That's lower. I think this is the lowest setting here, right there. Put that to the lowest setting too, because my grass is very short, almost non-existent, High setting is for people who have big lush lawns. Goals. Lawn goals. So I think maybe this might be better. I'm going to give it a try. So the cord thing bugs me, because you always have to turn on the side that the cord is not. So I did the entire yard, all that you can see, passes like that. My mistake was to start in the middle of the yard. Ideally, if my plug is over there for the cord, I should start at the steps and move my way out, because I'll be pulling the cord that way to the left, right? Because I started in the middle and went that way, it was fine. But then when I had to do this stuff over here, ideally you would have to take the cord, reroute it all the way to the deck and everything, so you can again pull that way. So the cord, as you saw, got in the way every time I turned. I'd have to put the cord over my head, slosh it over there, go about midway, pick it up again, push it over to the side again. So the cord is definitely a huge drag. Hate it. However, it seems to pick up the thatch really well. It wants to drag me, actually, which is surprising to me because I didn't think it was going to have that much power. But it actually dragged it, and I had to slow it down, you know? When you get to the bare spots where there's dirt, when you pull it backwards, it cultivates the dirt, as long as the dirt is loose and soft from the rain, you know? But this actually worked to cultivate the bare spots very well, you know? I know that if I did that a few times, right, and then I put seed down and then do it over again, it would all cover the seed, you know? So, I mean, it's pretty good. I like it, aside from the cord, you know what I mean? But it seems to be pretty powerful. I mean, one pass and it's filthy dirty and dusty already, you know what I mean? But it's pretty good. I'll show you what it did. So like right there, see where it's patchy? You can see the tine marks on it, right? If you drag it backwards, it digs it up pretty well. So there's loads of thatch here, right? This is kind of like what I was doing with that garden weasel, you know? Here you could tell it's very compacted. I didn't go over here because that's where the camera was. But look at all that thatch over here. When you got to the parts where the grass actually is thicker than the middle, because my kids, they throw the softball around there. As you know, you probably know, my son was varsity baseball for 4 years. My daughter is high school sophomore. So they practice a lot on this lawn, which is another reason why it's kind of bare in the spots, you know, where you're standing to catch and pitch and all that stuff. But anyway, this area here that's not really traveled all so much, right? It had thicker grass. And as you can see from the Dethatcher, it really worked very well there. Picked up a lot of thatch, you know. My lawn is kind of bare, so it's not much thatch to pick up, but it did do a lot, quite a bit actually. So all this thatch is on top of the lawn now. And look over here in the corner where it almost never grows grass. That doesn't look too bad, you know what I mean? When you drag it backwards, it kind of cultivates that area. So you know what? I don't really need a tiller. I think this will do just fine. So I'm gonna go over this part that I just did with the tractor and use the bins and suck up most of that thatch. I'm going to put the mower deck on a lower setting so that it sucks everything up into the baggers. And then I'll go over this spot over here too. So, as you guys see, my LT1000 that's been sitting the entire winter, it works pretty good. Without a hitch. Put the battery in there, put some gas, fired right up. It mows and drives great. And look who came to visit out of nowhere. It's a bandit.
It's a Mexican bandit.
Hey, that's racist. What's going on? I did. Marinara sauce, greaseball.
Round eye. You call me that I got full free.
Free?
Full free. I sold it for $450.
Really?
And it was running, cutting, driving. I spent probably like 4 hours on it.
Okay, Larry, but this is not running, cutting, and driving. This is going to take a bunch to get this going, for sure. Not to mention the fact that he came walking around looking at my horde, and he just couldn't believe what he was seeing, how this side has no tractors, and I've got like, bing, just 3 parked over there in the corner. Of course, I do have 3 in the garage too, but I mean, what a difference, huh? Yeah. But I'm gonna dethatch that area, suck up all that crap over there, and kind of make it more presentable, work on the lawn a little bit. But the reason why I tell Larry that this is going to be more trouble than it's worth is because the guy jigged it. It has a key, right? But he's got a push button for the start, and he's got a switch for the electric PTO. So we don't even know it.
You know, I don't even know if this thing works. You know what I mean?
Switch for the electric PTO.
No, but I mean, it's not. That's not the stock switch. You know, he put a switch on there. So I don't like when people jig stuff. I mean, I jig stuff, but that's me. But
it's an understatement.
Yeah, but I don't want a jig tractor because you don't know what they did. You know, you end up hardwiring the whole damn ignition. You know?
You don't jig stuff, do you?
Nah, not so much. I try to keep it as stock as possible. Anyway, let's go see Bob. What's up, Bobby? How you doing, Bobby? So Larry and Bobby came to visit me again. As usual, unexpected, unannounced. They just show up, you know what I mean? And they brought me something.
Someone doesn't answer their phone.
Well, I've been busy. I've been outdoors all day,
Yeah,
you know?
wake up at 11, that's what happens.
That's true. Oh, look at that. I just got through finishing one of these things. Lawn Boy.
Look at this Honda bag.
Nice bag.
It's like brand new.
Where'd you find that on the street?
No, I paid $100 for it.
Yeah.
But I'm giving it to you.
But thank you. Hey, did you end up selling that X mark side walk behind bagger thing, the metal thing?
Yeah.
You mind telling everybody what you got for it?
$90.
Yeah? I would have thought you probably got 150 for that. You could have, no?
You know, it was a young kid. He was a hustler. He was an entrepreneur.
A hustler? We don't like hustlers.
No, I mean, he was an ambitious guy. He had a bunch of stuff. He was young Spanish kid, nice kid.
We're all hustlers.
So I just, you know, I got it for free, man. I picked it out of the garbage.
See, that's your mentality again. That you got it for free. So if you make $5 on it, then you're happy. That's not the mentality. No. No. You have to have the mentality that you got something. You look at what the item is worth, not what you got it for.
But I liked the kid too. I appreciated that he was in his 20s and he had a trailer and he had a bunch of stuff.
In other words,
he came to my house like 9 o'clock at night.
He's not afraid of hard work. He goes out and he hustles for money. Okay, so I get it.
If I hooked him up, you know, it's just...
Was he at least thankful for it?
He was a nice kid. You know, definitely a nice kid.
Well, thanks, man. Thanks for the stuff. So, all in all, I think it really worked very well. And believe it or not, it actually worked well as a cultivator too. It loosened up all the soil that I needed it to. And I just put some seed down. Kentucky 31 tall fescue, 5 pounds of it. And I spread it around. The soil is all pretty loose now. As you guys see, this is where I had all my tractors parked, and I've moved 3 remaining over to the right side where there's turf, so I won't worry about that. And I went over this a few times with the Dethatcher, and all in all, man, that cord just was a pain in my butt, but honestly, it really worked well in loosening up the soil. And as you saw, I used the tractor and sucked up all the excess thatch that was over the lawn. This thing runs great. I'm very happy with it. Without a hitch the whole day. It was good to see Bob and Larry again. They just stopped by, you know, and gave me a couple of things. Used my basic spreader to put the seed down. And this Greenworks 14-inch electric corded dethatcher actually works really well. I don't like the
I definitely don't like the corded part of it, but honestly, it's pretty strong. It worked all day without a problem, and didn't overheat or anything. It just worked when you needed it to. When you dragged backwards on it, it basically cultivated whatever dirt was there, you know. So it works very well. I'm pretty impressed with it. I'm happy that I got it. Obviously, I just wish it didn't have a cord, you know. But if you had it with a battery pack or something, it would be a lot more expensive, way more expensive, and you'd probably have to recharge it pretty often. But if you can deal with the cord, this is a great machine to get, especially at $128 from Amazon with tax, $140 shipped to your house. It saved me a lot of work, a lot of work. It was a lot of work still, but if I had to go manually do this, you know, for my yard, it would have taken me 3 days, you know, but I did it in about 2-3 hours, you know, without interruptions. But you know, Larry and Bobby, when they come over, it's always an interruption. It's like 2 hours of I don't even really know what. Anyway, thanks for following me along on my Greenworks Dethatcher video, and hopefully my yard will start to look a little better as time goes on. I realize it does take a couple of weeks for the seeds to actually grow and germinate and grow up. I'll just try not to step on it. But beautiful day for this today, and I'm glad that I did it, and hopefully we'll get to the John Deere L100 tractor fix tomorrow. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.